account. So what do you normally do in your examinations? Once you pass this entry, what do? You always say being the you write this explanation being the books and pencils purchased. So what is it doing? It is actually giving more information to the transaction. What is the stationery that I purchased? Let us say for 500 rupees. Now, doesn't this complete the information? So this 500 rupees I have expended on the books and pencils. I can also say being the 100 books and 25 pencils purchased. So this is giving more and more information to the transaction. Do you agree with me? Now, whenever the person in a specific department is responsible for entering the journal vouchers, I want the system to make this particular entry. I want this explanation to be given by the user or the person who's entering the transaction, without which SAP should not save the data, should not save this transaction. If that is the setup, what I do as a consultant after having understood the requirement of my implementing partner, this is your required information. I want that particular information to be entered by the person. So I would make that particular information as mandatory or as required. If I'm also OK with the end user entering or not entering this information, still OK. SAP should go ahead and save this data, save this transaction. Then it would be optional. I would make this option. Clear? Now I want some information not to show up at all. For example, in this particular transaction, if it is asking me, I'm paying 500 rupees by cash. If it asks me for the bank account number, is it logical? What does the bank have to do with the cash? I'm not paying a check, right? OK, I'm giving it through a petty cash. Correct. So if this transaction, if SAP system prompts me to enter the bank account number for this particular simple journal voucher, do you think it makes sense? So in that case, I would stop the SAP system to ask for this information at all. This bank account should not even appear in my transaction. So that do not show up. So this bank account information should not show up in my transaction at all. So how do I control all this? Just hold on. Now, can you see how beautifully SAP is also controlling the wanted and the unwanted data to be entered or not to be entered? So this also can be designed, or this also can be asked to the SAP system to do. Okay, how is it being done? It is through something called as, I would not give the number, but I would just put up this. It is through a concept called as your field status variant. Now you see the other variant. OK, so which is also the responsibility of the finance person to design how the screen should behave or how the transactional information should be controlled. When the end user is entering the transaction, how would I help the end user to get the information only whatever he wants? He should not be he should not be asked to enter irrelevant data. Correct? Now, so we saw enough and more of reconciliation account. Okay. Posting transactions in the general ledger. What is posting? Nothing but saving the transaction, entering the transaction and saving. This process is called as posting a transaction in SA. Posting. Right? So you can, I think, click on each and every. It gives you. So once when you click on this information, it tells you what exactly that particular block means. So what was the purpose of entering the general ledger transactions? So it says click on each element to learn more about this particular items to make general ledger business transactions available. Obviously, you need to enter your business transactions, right? So we'll come back to the screen after we take a short break. Kunal, are you there? Hi, Kunal.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So we'll take a short break of 10 minutes.
Sure, sir.
And we'll come back. Okay. So we'll reassemble by 12:15. All right.
Sir, there is only one question. We will first take it that, and then only we can continue with our studies.
Okay, Kunal, we'll take it up. Once we meet up, just let me know the question. Okay. Kunal, we'll start. So let's continue after the break. Kunal, we had a question. Kunal, you're there? Kunal? Hello? Kunal? Okay, let him join and we'll continue with our, okay. So just keep taking on this so that you will be in a position to understand what exactly we mean by posting a general ledger transaction. All right. So you also got introduced to a new term called document.
Yes, sir.
Kunal, we had a question.
Yes, sir. In PSU, which charts of account are used? Only one question.
Okay. See, you just cannot say that probably I'll have only these many general ledger accounts, because see, even in PSUs, the number of general ledger accounts could be enormous. So I would not be in a position to tell you, okay, these are the only general ledger accounts which are being used, because if you talk about the businesses of the various PSUs, Indian telephone industries, their business is different. HAL, their business is different. BEML, BML, BEL, so their businesses are different. HMT, machine tools, their businesses is different. So I just cannot say that, okay, these are the general ledger account which should be there. Yeah, even for PSUs, it all depends on what is the business that they are into. Okay, Hindustan Aeronautics, it is into aircraft. So you should also know that it produces, it repairs overalls, it has an engine, it has an entire unit managing the engines, right? And as you're aware, for example, Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, HAL, is also spread across the whole country. From Bengaluru, where the organization is headquartered. So it has businesses happening in Nasik, Korapat, Barakpur. So it all depends on what is the nature of the business each PSU is into. So we cannot conclude that, okay, every PSU has only these 2000 general ledger accounts or even 3000 general ledger accounts. You cannot say that. All right. I hope I have clarified this question. Right. Now coming back to the concept of document. What is a document? A document is nothing but a transaction. This is a document. Once when I save this information in the SAP system, please mark my words, once I save, okay, there is a document which is there is a generation of a document and also the number. Each transaction has a unique number based on what kind of a transaction it is. Is it an asset related transaction? Is it a customer invoice? Is it a customer receipt? Is it a customer credit memo? Is it asset depreciation? Is it vendor payment? Is it vendor credit memo? Is it material purchase? So based on these kinds of transaction, I'm just adding one more point. All these transactions are called as documents in SAP. That is all. The meaning of the word document is transaction. Clear? So each kind of a transaction has a unique document, okay, which gets generated along with a unique number. I have used unique in two places. One is the generation of the document itself. The other one, the document number, the transaction number. Clear? Now, don't worry about it. As far as the current time is concerned, you should just notice every saved transaction in SAP creates a document. Let me just put this point up even before I talk about the topic. Every saved transaction in SAP results in a. So in SAP, if somebody says the document has got generated without the transaction, it is a wrong statement. Every transaction which is saved in SAP generates a document. To add more information, a document type and a number. And both are unique to the transaction. So what could be the transaction? I gave you an example. asset capitalization, asset depreciation, asset scrap, asset disposal, profit on sale of assets, loss on sale of assets, customer invoice, sales invoice, customer receipt, customer credit memo. So all these are the various transactions. So each time I enter a specific transaction, you can see SAP picks up a separate and a different document type. You can see all that in the SAP system. Just hold on, but keep this in your head that every transaction is identified through a unique document type and a associated and a unique number range. Here, just know what is a transaction. That's it. Nothing more. Okay, you can. We have already seen what is a segment reporting. Does somebody remember what is segment reporting? We have seen this earlier, haven't we? Do you remember this? On the second day, I explained what is a segment. So now segment reporting has become a mandatory requirement for any of the businesses to fulfill the accounting requirement or the legal requirement. It is essential that it follows the segment reporting. So what is a segment? The most basic point from where the business wants to report. Now, for example, let me assume that I am the owner of Messrs A Limited. I am into some textile business where I have the cloth. I sell cloth. I also sell ready-mades. Ready-mades, I have items or items for both men and women. I have shirts, trousers, jeans, ready-mades for both men and women. I have both formals and casuals. And I also have from the cloth, I deal with denim. I also deal with cotton, linen, woolen, whatever. So now it depends as to where I decide as the owner of Messrs A Limited, I would want where from the information, at what level do I want the information? Do I want it at this level? Or do I want it at this level? Or do I want it at this level? So the basic or the most, I cut down the business and decide what is the starting point, from where do I want to start the reporting. Basically, I would have to cater to my requirement also, how I want to see my business and how and what is the legal requirement of this particular textile business as per the Government of India or as far as the state laws are concerned. I may be operating maybe say in Pune or maybe say in Bengaluru or maybe say even in Delhi. Clear? So what exactly is the requirement of the land pertaining to the textile business is what I need to understand. And based on that, I would want to break down my business so that I also achieve my requirement. Okay. So this individual things any one of them can be a segment. Anyone. Your formals and casuals can be two different segments. Your men and women can be two different segments. Your ready-mades and cloth can be two different entities, can be two different segments. So it all depends on how I would want to define my reporting requirement. This classifies what a segment is. I hope I have made you understand what segment is all about, right? Don't worry, I will be showing this to you when I probably look at the management accounting module, right? Don't worry about this. Okay. So we all know this for external segment, IFRS segments. I mean, sorry, we saw what was this called? ledgers, leading and non-leading ledgers. I made a note of it here also. See. Correct. Now you're able to connect each and every concept which I have already said. I wouldn't mind repeating as long as you people are clear. Okay. So what does he want to show here? Let us see. For the time being, let me just skip this. I will show you. This is how your SAP screen will look like whenever you want to enter a transaction. Okay, I will make a note of the slide because at the appropriate time, let me come back to this slide. Okay. As of the present moment is concerned, don't worry about this. Clear? So universal journal. What is this? We have already spoken about this in the form of a leading and a non-leading ledger. Can you see this? The leading ledger or the universal journal, whether you want or not, captures all the transactions. Now, the non-leading ledgers, I said, the non-leading ledgers is need-based. Okay. And what did I say? A system, your SAP system, can have only one leading ledger. It can have n number of non-leading ledgers, but it can have only one leading ledger. This is about your universal journal, equivalent to your whatever I said. Regardless of where they occur and located in one place. Fully integrated accounting system. Yeah. Let us see what extra he has for us to say. See, all this plus indicates an explanation. See, click on each of the plus buttons on the table to learn about the fields. Just see the explanation of what is a ledger. Supports parallel accounting. You're already aware of what is parallel accounting. Satisfying the reporting requirements or accounting principles across the various geographical locations to which your business is spread across. Your basic business country will become the leading ledger, and all other countries wherever you're establishing your business becomes the non-leading ledger. So I think we have had a clear explanation on this. The only thing is I have not shown you this, how they look like in the SAP system. Just hold. What is a company code? There are concepts like you can see fiscal year, document. I think now you are okay with what is a document. I just explained a couple of minutes back. Transaction. What is a line item? Just hold on. Segment. By now you should be aware of what is a segment. Just hold on. What is a profit center? Just hold on. Now your profit center and your segment reporting is the latest requirements as far as the legal requirements are concerned, as far as accounting is concerned. Okay. Just hold on with all this information. Okay. You can easily create and post. Just hold on. Don't bother about this. This comes at a later point in time. Let us skip all this. This is nothing but you entering the transactions in your SAP system. Your general ledger posting transactions means only that. Okay. Now, Earlier, I made a statement regards what is a document. Let us read through the same thing what I said in my explanation. You can scroll over the notes section to view more information. So before that, let us read this. Document types, they basically distinguish the accounting documents easily, meaning this concept of document is used to identify the nature of transaction. Is it a customer invoice? Is it a customer credit memo? Or is it customer receipts? Or is it the general transactions? Or is it vendor invoices? Or is it vendor credit memos? Or is it vendor payments? Or is it asset capitalization, asset depreciation, asset scrap, asset profit, asset loss on sale? So these transactions necessarily create something called as the document type. So basically, you have the concept of document types to distinguish the nature of transactions. You can click on the notes. See, for GL account postings, document SA. Document type SA. What is SA? I will practically show you to you on the system. Not to worry. All right. But now, what is SA? Does SA on its own give you any meaning? It is not an abbreviation for something. No, it is like your 0L. What is 0L? Leading ledger. Correct. I said, why can't it be 1L? It is a standard SAP. All right. So what basically is defined by the standard SAP? Normally, the whole of the business world will not challenge. In the sense, what you see SA is also one of the standard SAP definition. Just like you had the standard company code 0001, 1000, 0L. Okay, so like this, the document types are all created by SAP itself. As a consultant or as an end user, the opportunity for me to create a new document type is very, very, very rare, almost nil. Clear? So like this. So for journal vouchers, SCA is the document type. So whenever I want to post a journal voucher, like say I pay 100 rupees for a tea vendor, he comes and distributes tea for us employees. So I, as the I am managing the petty cash, so I pay say 200 rupees every day for the tea vendor. So I need to record this in my SAP system. Yeah. So what kind of a transaction, what kind of a document does this generate? Tea expenses account debit to cash. That is going to be my entry. Correct. So what kind of a document, when I save this transaction, what kind of a document does SAP create? It creates a document type of the nature SA. I'll just make a note of it. Where is the document? Did I? One moment. Every transaction in SAP results in a document type. Now, a journal voucher or a simple general ledger entry is identified through a document type SA. Why SA? It is left to SAP. It is a standard system or the standard methodology what SAP has followed. This is applicable to any kind of a project. Clear? Under no circumstances, the implementing partner wants us to create a new document type. Clear? Now, What could be the other document types? Asset capitalization. I'll just push this down. So whenever you are dealing, there are many more such standard document types. But what I wanted you to concentrate on is whenever you are carrying out these kinds of transactions, asset capitalization, you're posting a sales invoice, posting, I think you're okay. Simply saving a transaction. I sell an item to my customer. I enter the transaction in my SAP system. Clear? So this is exactly what I mean by a transaction. So each and every kind of a transaction based on the nature. Can you see the nature? Journal voucher, or you can also say simple general ledger transactions. They generate these transactions. Whenever we record this in SAP and save the transaction, it generates a SA document type. Yep. So whenever I carry out the asset depreciation and save this asset depreciation in my SAP system, it generates an AF document type. And how are these things happening? Is the user entering this SA, AA, AB, AF, DR, DZ? Not at all. The end user even won't know about this. The person entering the transaction may or may not even know about this. SAP automatically is generating this document types without the user intervention. See how beautifully the system is designed. Now, why the concept of document types? Now, as a manager, I would ask my clerk to give me the balance of some fixed asset. So he can extract only the EAA type of documents in his report. He can give me a report extracting only the AA type of documents, because as an organization, it can have all these transactions. But out of which I'm asking only the asset capitalization, because I am in charge of the asset department. Now, did you understand why SAP has thought over this document type concept or document concept? Yeah. And not only this, it has credit memos. It has material transactions. So any number of transactions can happen within an organization, especially if you're talking about a huge business body like your Reliance, or maybe say Tata's or Hindustan Unilever or whatever. You can see all this happening every second. Every moment, some or the other transaction will definitely keep happening. Do you agree with me? So you can as well see how many SA document types would have got generated, how many AA document types would have got generated, how many DR document types would have got generated, right? Do you agree with me? Did you understand? So as a supervisor, I would want to touch upon only one particular transaction. So in that case, it will be easier to fetch the particular transaction based on the nature. I hope now I'm clear as to why SAP has given you the concept of the document type here. Do you want to just think over it for 2 more minutes? Just think over this for 2 or 3 more minutes. I will keep quiet. You come back to me with questions. All right. I will remain quiet for 3 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes.
Sir, there is one question.
Yeah, Kunal, go ahead.
Capitalization. Will you please explain in detail?
What, Kunal?
Asset capitalization.
Asset capitalization. Okay. Once they go through this particular thing, I will start with that question. Okay. Asset
sir.
capitalization.
Sure, sir.
I will just make a note of it in my Excel sheet. What is asset capitalization? Okay. Another 2 more minutes, we will start. We'll restart the session by taking up the question, what is asset capitalization? Okay. Okay, let me start with this. What do you mean by asset capitalization? Acquisition. If you want me to now, let me say I'm working in an organization. My organization wants to buy 100 chairs, computer chairs, 100 chairs for the computer department. So what happens in your finance? Whenever I record this transaction, what is the entry? Asset account will be debit to whatever, to vendor. Your assets are building up, right? Suppose you are procuring raw materials. Inventory boosts up. Your inventory is also one of the assets. Now, forget about the inventory. You procure 100 chairs for your computer department. What are these 100 chairs for your organization? They are your assets, right? You're buying it for your organization. They are your assets. So whenever you are procuring the assets, you could buy vehicles for your top management. You can buy some machinery for producing your finished product. You can buy some land for your business. All these are acquisitions you buy. So whenever, so what happens during the asset? What happens during the asset life cycle? I'll not get into the entire life cycle, but so whenever you want to start using this assets, you will have to bring it into your business. You will have to record it in your financial books because that is going to be your asset. Suppose you buy laptops for your employees, your laptops, your desktops, your computer chairs, your computer tables, correct? Your air conditioners, what you buy for each of your department, they all constitute your assets for which you need to maintain the records as required by the Companies Act, correct? So this activity of buying an asset is referred to as your asset capitalization. You capitalize, suppose you buy a car for your, let us say for your CEO or for your CFO or for any of your directors, you buy a car. So your car is not the personal asset of that particular person. It is the asset of the company. Correct? So the money what you expend to buy that car, buy this 100 chairs, buy 100 laptops for your business, this process is called as asset capitalization. Clear? Did you understand what asset capitalization means? Okay, yeah. So you can see it says important standard document types, the same thing which I have noted in my Excel sheet also. Clear? Now, what is a posting key? One more interesting term. I will just make a note of it. I'm not going to explain this. Posting key or posting keys. Clear? Now, okay, since we have already can you see some numbers? See the numbers 0, 1, 11, 0, 2, 12, 0, 3, 13. You have 70, 75. Now, posting key is a way by which SAP recognizes whether it is a debit or a credit. SAP will not understand your English DR. I entered this. It doesn't. Poor SAP will not understand this DR and CR. It will not understand DR. It has its own way to understand whether a specific account is debited or a specific account is credited by means of something called as posting keys. Under no other circumstances, SAP can understand whether you are debiting or crediting. Now, what are these different numbers, what you see? I think probably one more important point what I want to add here is whenever you are posting or whenever you are recording, whenever you are saving a simple journal voucher, let us say you are trying to enter this expense account debit to cash. Let us assume that you are entering this transaction. Now, what is a debit? How do I tell that your stationery account is a debit and your cash account is a credit? SAP understands whenever it is a journal voucher, whenever it is a simple general ledger transaction, 40 is your debit posting key. 50 is your credit posting key. probably now things will be a little hazy. Don't worry about the clarity, but all you should know is, and you can also see 70 is for whenever you are purchasing an asset, you debit an asset. SAP understand this through a posting key 70. And whenever you are depreciating, so you have accumulated depreciation account debit to the asset, right? In that circumstances, your asset account will be indicated through a 75 because you're crediting. That's what you see here in your 70. 70 is your debit, left side of your T, accounting T, and 75 onto the right side of your accounting T. So whenever you want to debit, it is 70. Debit what? Debit asset is your 70. Whenever you are crediting, it is your 75. Now, was the concept clear or it was a little hazy? No problem. So now what we'll do is we'll break for lunch now and we will reassemble by 2 p.m. Okay, Kunal?
Sure, sir. Sure, sir.
So I will leave the meeting now and I will rejoin by 2 p.m.
Thank you, student. We will again rejoin by 2. Stay tuned till that. Thank you.